Okay. Let's see. Micro strategies moving. Let's see. Oh wow. Slightly? 3%?
Which
Slightly, Ross?
Yeah. Oh, damn.
This is
I
moving a
closed
little
my,
bit faster, yeah.
I know I closed my just a little too early.
Mm. Hola.
Hmm.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. Um, all right. So we're still working on getting a speaker for next month, but we'll keep you guys posted. Uh, Going to Idiots of the Week. I have a couple interesting cases here. Lord Jacob Rothschild has died at 87, and he's the supposed inspiration for Mr. Burns. And then I was looking at some article threads or some Reddit threads about this, and it's interesting to see that Mr. Burns' last name might indicate that this character is at least bound for hell. So it's an interesting hype thought at least on that side. But yeah, this is basically a major merchant of death figure for the last several decades. Okay. And found some interesting trades. Let me pull up this guy here. This is just a crazy account. This subreddit is called Race to 10 Million. It's the greatest reality show of our times. Watch idiots YOLO their way to 10 million and escape wage slavery or lose it all trying. Oh my God. So yeah. So this guy started with 1,000, went to 16,000 a month. This account's going to 100K or zero. Then I'm gonna YOLO it all on zero DTEs on earnings release dates. Oh my God. So yeah. Stuff like that is everywhere. It's retail trading mania on across a couple different forums. Kind of shocking, but saw that.
Warren,
Yeah,
what do you think this age group would be? Like in the 30s, 20s,
18 to 30.
18?
18 to
Oh,
30, yeah.
30s, yeah.
Yeah. So your
Okay.
kids' age.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'd like to make a comment.
Hmm.
It's reminds me very reminiscent of 1999 and 2000 when everybody was in the Schwab offices doing day trading.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
You mean retail traders in the
Yeah,
Schwab's office?
yeah.
Of that
Like back,
era. Yeah.
even back in those days, people can like go into the office, the
That was
Schwab
the only
office.
way.
The
You
only
didn't,
way.
yeah, you didn't have Thinkorswim.
Okay.
You had, you had to have a pro platform to be able to trade. So they'd go into the Schwab offices and watch the tickers and the charts on the screens in the Schwab offices. That was, until the crash in March 2000. That's what everybody did then.
That's,
Oh,
Is there footage of this?
oh, I didn't know that.
I can't think of the name.
Uh,
There was quite a few things, but yeah, the SOS bandit places really weren't a thing in the United States. They were effectively illegal.
Mm-hmm. So you mean anyone can just go into the office, or do you have to be the client, right?
Well, you had to have an account.
Account, okay. And then you just go in there and then sit down in their desk and do your
Yep,
trade.
yep. Just stay there all day and trade.
Wow. That's that's interesting.
oh, welcome, Joseph.
Now you can do it sitting on the toilet. You don't have to go into the Schwab office.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sitting on a
Yeah,
toilet at a gas station under.
yeah. You can do it anywhere. You
Uh,
can Do it while you're standing in line, checking out. What is this? $20 million? Who is
Okay,
this?
so this is a pretty popular post for this week on Wall Street Bets.
Mhm.
So this guy has just been going YOLO on Nvidia, just endless longs. And ironically, it's paid off. He has
Wow.
18 million year to date. That's what, 2 months?
Wow.
40 trading days?
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
so I was almost worried not to show this article because I don't give body
No.
ideas.
Wait, how much did he start off with?
Let's see.
Wow.
So near zero at some point.
Well, a couple thousand.
Couple
Maybe
thousands?
tens of thousands. It's hard to tell.
How long ago
This is year to date. Oh, that's January 1st-ish.
of this year?
Yeah.
Oh, how is that possible?
Just very short, just by he's just doing very short options with Nvidia and just flipping heads 50 times in a row.
Just keep buying calls, buying calls, buying call, buying calls.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow. Wow.
What else he says? He's saying, yeah.
So what's he doing now? Good plan on to move the
Wani, you're too safe. What are you doing? You're playing it too
I
safe.
Oh my
know. My
God.
goodness.
You're falling behind.
I'm falling behind this guy. I want to post something like that. Wow.
Bonnie, have you had a big loss day?
Today, yeah, it's okay. It's not
Well,
that
no, I
bad.
mean, have you had a $20,000 loss day?
No. Oh, in crypto, yes. In crypto, I can have $100,000 loss day
You
or
mean,
more
well,
in
you
crypto.
traded in, and then all of a sudden, by the end of the day, you're now. Yeah, I've lost money. I got afraid at some point. It's too.
Yeah.
I've never made it to 100 contracts. Is the thing I should say. I've been over 50 quite a few times.
Oh, okay. No, crypto, yeah, it's brutal.
Okay, we can trade war stories maybe towards the end of our program. But yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
Looking at our indexes, going down the line, starting with the futures side of the S&P 500, looks pretty flat for the moment, just up about 1/4%. Still strong inflows, at least on the futures side here. So market might be sustaining its momentum for a while. But looking at the analytics underneath the hood, we're seeing some substantial hedging at least, or some speculation on the downside here. Put call ratio about 2.0, which is a bit out of character for the futures side. This is typically like a 1.4 number. And as you can see, the sizzle index numbers are still broken. This would say that this is 10x or 5 to 7x the average 5-day volume, which doesn't make sense. We've been seeing the same range of 100,000 couple of contracts for a long time. Okay, let's pivot to SPX and see if we see some lack of optimism here. No, normal
Did you
trading day.
call Tasty about the Sizzle Index?
I've talked to support about it a couple times. They don't really care, at least at the support level.
Well, they better start caring because allegedly I got a notice a couple days ago that Schwab's taken down all their platforms in April and going to replace them with Thinkorswim.
Yeah, everyone's getting migrated on May 2nd or something.
Well, they told me April.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Maybe there's a couple different options.
Yeah, who knows? But it's Schwab, and they may be doing it in segments
I
because
just got
they'll screw it up.
mine. It's
yeah,
around
me
May
too.
8th, I think.
Yeah, I think in May for me also.
Hmm.
Let me see here.
But
May
yeah,
12 for me, May
May
12.
12th? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it looks like it's a staggered launch or migration, I guess. Yeah, it's gonna be chaos. Maybe we should all move our money elsewhere and trade on Tasty Trade or something.
Because the
No,
fact
I,
that they
I,
want to fix the sizzle index and they're going to force everybody to use the platform gets me even more nervous than I am.
These are
no, I, or,
these are all excellent points. Yeah. So if they won't fix the little things, that's a really bad sign.
yeah, I already experienced issues on Sunday night, this on Monday. My positions are all like weird and oh my God, it's a nightmare. I'm gonna have to try to like I have to manually close my positions on the option chain.
Oh yeah, was
Yeah.
that problem sorted out for you, Wani?
There's really no problem to sort out. It's just the way things are working for them. So basically, the guy told me that there are two order management system in Thinkorswim. That's the primary, which is for people that just use the web on the web base and also the mobile. And then the secondary are like people like us that just use Thinkorswim. And so a bunch of people got migrated on Sunday night with the system migrating transition to Schwab. And so what they did was any positions that you have open, any existing positions, they all turn everything into custom position, which
Oh, okay.
makes it really hard for you to identify what position is what position. And I cannot close anything because if I click on a position that I want to close, it highlight everything. Everything turned into blue. And then I have to right click and I have to try to figure out which contract belongs to which and how to. It's like absolute nightmare. If you only have a few positions, it's okay. You might be able to just kind of go through it slowly, figuring it out, and then go to your option chain and close it one by one manually. But if you
Right.
have a whole bunch, like I happen to have a whole bunch, and it's just, I'm still like figuring it out each position by itself. And then tomorrow, because a lot of them expiring tomorrow, so I have to like close them out, but one by one, right click like Flavius taught us, like control, you click and then you control your long position, you sell it back, your short position, you buy it back, and then make it into a spread position. Think about that. Think about how crazy that is to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
I'm
not
gonna
good.
unwind everything. It's just not worth the hassle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I seriously warn you. I think it was Larry that if you have anything that like employee stock shares or any of that stuff where you have 100 more or more prices, just you got to save those. You will be so screwed if you don't have those.
Mm-hmm.
You
So
know,
I
basis
took
stock.
screenshots. Yeah, I had to take screenshots of a lot of the big position that I have a lot of position in,
Hmm.
and it's terrible. And they said there's nothing wrong with the system. It's just how the way it is. And I'm not the only one affected by it. There are other people as well. So they got really busy with a lot of phone calls for people that have issues like me.
Okay, yeah, keep us posted though. Well, hopefully that
Yeah.
clears up. Okay. All right. So yeah, I was just trying to point out to oh, excuse me. Oh, oh my
There should
gosh.
be something on the web for this damn Schwab migration to help people understand how they're screwing it up.
Probably. But to Larry's earlier point about looking at the little things, this is more of a popular music story. I've heard about it years ago, but in their contract for Van Halen, they have an interesting clause or
Oh yeah, that one.
yeah,
Well,
so
everyone can.
so they want a bowl of M&Ms and they specifically want the brown ones removed. And what happened was it's just about attention to detail. So if this little requirement was fulfilled, chances are someone is checking everything and
in the
everything.
contract.
Correct. And there's probably better operational efficiency and due diligence. But if they did see brown M&Ms, then they would trash the room and know they have to check everything because someone's not doing their job. So it's a
Wow.
good kind of little check. It's I guess today you'd call it like a type of goose egg, but yeah.
Well, it's like the lunar lander that landed a
Mhm.
week ago.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't have a landing laser because they had forgotten to turn the switch on before they launched it.
Oh,
We are not talking Apollo here. We're talking Boeing style management. I wonder how many bolts they left out.
wow. And that company, Intuitive Machine, LUNR?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in just a bit.
The world just isn't the same.
Nope.
There's an attention to detail type of thing that people don't have. The young people, they get so angry about not being paid well. They're like, oh, I don't want to be here an extra 5 minutes unless you're paying.
Exactly.
Like, what the hell, yeah.
And young people today are so lazy. They don't want to work extra. They don't want to work extra hours. If you have jobs for them, they don't want to teach longer than they need to teach.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't understand it. They tell me, don't give me any more students. I don't want any more. I'm full. I'm busy. I don't want to do it. It's like, what
Yeah.
the heck?
Bunch of babies.
I don't understand it. Back in my days, I would say, give me as much work you can give me. I'll work 7 days a week. I don't get it.
I was always frustrated as a manager that I couldn't give certain people bonuses for doing that extra effort. Don't
Yeah.
let any balls drop. You're the guy. I'm giving you another $10,000 this year.
Mm.
And people like they come right at 2 o'clock when they come to work, right at 2 o'clock, or right at the clock. It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Okay. Let's
Hey Warren, can you drop that Business Insider article about that band thing, the Van Halen band?
oh yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to read more about that.
Yeah, that's been around for a long time.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And we'll take a look at VIX in just a second. And looking at the retail side of the S&P 500, we see some obvious optimism, and put call ratio is 1.0, so pretty bullish. And there's just nothing but sunshine and rainbows here. It's a beautiful place to be. And let's shift gears to the NASDAQ, which will probably have some matching optimism as well. And let's see, 1.57. Actually, it's a little bit bearish. Okay. And let's pivot to the schizophrenic side of the indexes with the Russell 2000. And this is obscene. This is usually 2.3. I don't understand why this is so bullish as well. This is crazy. Okay. Does someone know something that I don't? Maybe. Okay. And let's look at the diamonds just for fun, since all the indexes are all over the place. And this is also outrageously bullish as well. This is usually 1.0. And yeah, that's interesting. There's a comment about the VIX. Yeah, it's under 14 again. Holy cow, 13.43. That is just crazy. So for the new folks, the VIX is the measure of the inverse volatility of the SPX. So fundamentally, the S&P 500. And typically, it should reflect current events and bad news and so forth. But we've been in such a long, low VIX environment that people are getting numb to external activities. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. All right, but yeah, it's at 13. And let's go into oh, here's upcoming announcements for today. A couple of different things. Let's see. Core personal consumption expenditure. I think that already came out. We'll look at that in just a second. And then we have a couple, looks like Fed governors having their own speeches towards the end of the day. So we'll have to keep our eye on that. And I think that's it for there. Let's look at the American Association of Individual Investor Sentiment. And week over week, let's see, it is a little bit more bullish than last week by a smidge. We've seen market decline in the number of bears. So we're going from 26.2% to 21.3%. And this cohort is pretty popular for buy and hold. And that's a sort of it's just, you know, hold and pray really. But yeah, optimistic group here. Let's go to some more data from CNN, and we want to look at the market breadth indicator here. This number we've seen in the high 70s for a while. Still trading above what they use is a 125-day MA. And here's stock price strength, which is comparing net positions overall of 50-week 2 highs and 52-week lows. So we're still on the overall high side of that, so indicating greed here. But from a stock price breadth perspective of looking at sort of the overall volume of shares that are rising versus number of shares that are falling, it gives you a better sense of how the tides are changing. So we're still kind of in a neutral position, sort of like a midpoint in the spectrum. And here they do have a reference to the put call ratio, which we do look at endlessly. And for the most part, we're very far away from 2020 highs and COVID highs of like 2.2. So we're only at 0.72. So that's really far away. So
That put call ratio is on what? I'm just curious.
I think this is the SPX. They don't list it, but I recognize the numbers. Yeah, this is definitely SPX-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, so like 0.8 is really small compared to what I think you say all the time.
Yeah, so nuclear events have been, yeah, let me pull up
Don't worry about it. I was just
yeah. Historically, yeah, it has to get above 2, then you're in serious territory. Yeah, I'll pull it up here. So 2019, yeah, 2.87, and then COVID or pre-COVID was 2.59, and then here is the spring of 2020, 2.38. So until it breaks above 2, there's nothing really to worry about. So yeah, we've almost hit 3. Okay. Okay. Oh wait, Stock Traders Almanac. Let's check out the February reading. And what do we have in the chat really quick? Oh, we got a question from Satish. Warren, are these indicators mainly dominated by the retail trader sentiment? How about the institutional perspective? Those are great questions, Satish. I think generally speaking, this is a combination of all the sectors, right? It's not quite parsed in a retail versus institutional way. That would be a good improvement, though. Let me log that in my notes and see if we can improve that.
I haven't seen data broken out that way in a really long time.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be helpful though. Okay.
Or do you take these indicators mainly as contrarian? Say when we see extreme greed, that's when we should be fearful.
Yeah, I'm always trying to get a sense of the mass psychology. So it's nice to look at something beyond just a S&P 500 chart all day, because I feel like it maybe overly simplifies the situation. And then you'll see a bunch of in our upcoming articles. A lot of institutions are selling into the retail space. So we'll see a lot of confirmation of that. So that's why I think the overall overview is kind of helpful, at least get a sense of what the different sectors sort of current momentum and sentiment looks like. And then from a trading perspective, yeah, it's always trying to figure out what is the opposite trade. So yeah, just watching that fear and greed pendulum swing, I guess.
So there's so much on indexing these days. You know, the whole world's gone indexing.
Mhm.
The interesting thing would be the institution and them getting out, you know, selling their shares, and the indexing people, and then the regular retail.
Yeah, we'll talk about Jamie Dimon. He's unloading a lot of his shares, and there's some other notable figures as well, right? Jeff Bezos with his big
Bezos.
sale.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah, it's a lot of folks. But yeah, let's knock out our basic components here. Here's a February almanac from the Stock Traders Almanac. So February is the weak link in the best 6 months, and recently S&P has been up 9, down 6 with an average change of 0.1% over the last 15 years. It's number 3 for the NASDAQ in presidential election years, where the average gain is 1.8%, up 7, down 6. It's number 11 for the Dow, number 11 for the S&P, and day before President's Day weekend, S&P is down 19 of 32. 11 straight 92 to 02, and day after has been up 8 of the last 14. And then many technicians modify market predictions based on January's market in February. So that's held fairly true. Cool. And then let's take a peek at March to see what might be coming down the pipeline. So mid-month strength and late-month weakness are most evident above, and you can reference this bar graph here. Recent record, S&P is 13 up and 8 down, average 1.1%, fifth best overall. Rather turbulent in recent years with wild fluctuations and large gains and losses. March 2020, Dow declined 19.3%, worst March loss since 1938, and March has been taking some mean end of quarter hits. And then last 3 of 4 days, Dow a net loser 22 out of the last 34 years. NASDAQ hit hard in 2001, down 14.5% after a 22.4% drop in February. Second worst NASDAQ month during presidential election years, and third Dow month to gain more than 1,000 points in 2016. So wow. Okay. Beware the Ides of March. Okay. Yeah, could be pretty gritty. All right. Let's look at sector rotation, and just for everyone's benefit, I took the screenshots and placed them here already. So they're right here in the notes. But yeah, let's pull up our favorites. So here's the 11 subsectors, and these include a 5-week tail. So each chunk is about a week. So seeing a lot of price action is basically linked to the length of the tail. So long tails is just a lot of movement. So as you can see here, real estate probably had a really bad week. And let's sort this really quick and take a look. So yeah, real estate has been definitely seeing dollars rotate out of there. And what else has been improving somewhat? XLE, so a lot of energy stocks. And let's take a look here. And we've seen sector rotation happen with the big whales as well, right? So we looked at Warren Buffett's 13F for Berkshire Hathaway come out, and he moved substantial funds into Occidental Oil there. And what else is slowly losing steam, which is XLK, so the tech sector. And that's been carried on the shoulders of NVIDIA, and its other cousins. So let's zoom in out of just the 11 subsectors and look at individual tickers. Let me add some other relevant fun stuff. And yeah, if you guys would like to add anything, let me know. We can just add it here. All right, so let's see. We got NVIDIA right here. Oh, where's Supermicro? Gotta add SMCI. Okay, here's SMCI. Wow. Okay, what is it right now?
It's up quite a bit today.
864.
Yeah.
Looks like the thousand the thousand handle though is slipping away. Okay. Let's see. On the bottom would be natural gas, the Widowmaker and Upstart, and then Google is having a bad time. There's a lot of fallout with their very racist AI assistant named Gemini. So we'll take a look at that. And then yeah, I got your tickers, Mike. Let me add it in. GCT and MNST. Okay. All right, where did those go? Here's MNST. Where is it on the chart? Pretty in the middle here. And then, oh, that's Monster. Okay, and then where's the other one? What was it? A GCT, Giga Cloud. Okay. That seems to be doing better. Okay. Any other tickets you guys want to add up here? Or we could swing back as well. Oh, welcome, Michael.
Good morning.
Welcome. Let me drop the notes for you guys. Yeah, all right. Notes are in the chat. Oh, yeah, Satish. Let's add some TLT and some IEF. Get a little splash of IOUs in there. And where did that go? It's somewhere in the middle here. Okay, where's the TLT? Okay, right here, pretty flat. Okay, TLT, very sideways, and IEF for the 2 to 7 years or 7 to 10 years, also right here, pretty flat. Okay. Any other tickers, guys? Or we could always come back and look at this in a bit. Okay. And again, there's screenshots of the 11 subsectors on our notes and also a list of our more popular tickers that we've looked at in a while. All right, cool. Lots of earnings news here. Let's look at something that's kind of local, relatively speaking, but yes, it's unfortunate. It's the end of a dynasty, really. But Macy's is set to close 150 stores and just focus on luxury consumer brands with Bloomingdale's. So yeah, that's
That's what
pretty.
JCPenney did too.
Yeah, this is not going to end well at all. Let's pull up Macy's. When did JCPenney officially close their doors forever?
No, they're still open.
They are? Oh, I haven't seen them.
Maybe they went through a chapter 11 and reorganized.
No, they're still around, at least in my location.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're still up in South San Francisco.
oh, okay. I didn't know.
I think there's only 2 stores. I think there's South City at Tanforan, and there's one down at Eastridge.
Wow.
But they filed for bankruptcy though, right? JCPenney.
Yeah, at least once. Thanks to that Apple marketing guy they hired. He's going to drive them upscale.
You know, the
There's a
first
sales-
the
oh,
first Macy's store in the Bay Area is the store on Bayfair in San Leandro.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the first Macy's store, and they're closing that store.
And I believe this is closing as well, the
Yeah.
Union Square
Union
location.
Square's closing.
That's really sad. It's such a cool spot, and there's the Cheesecake Factory in the middle on, I think, what, this is the fifth floor or the sixth floor, I forgot. But you can get the balcony seats and look over Union Square, and it's a fun spot.
I mean, Cheesecake Factory is also filing for bankruptcy, right?
No, no, they're fine.
Oh, no, I think they are. I remember, like, yeah, look it up.
Oh,
During the pandemic, they filed for Chapter 11.
this is pandemic, but
They reopen.
this is 4 years later. This is not the same situation.
So they still,
This was relatively early because it was getting into lockdowns.
mhm.
Yeah, but it's fine now. Yeah,
They're
relatively.
okay now. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we've got our genius CEO at Wendy's who's going to do surge pricing, he thinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read about that.
And
What
that's
exactly is that? I just read about it this morning.
Well, now he claims he's not going to be doing that, but who knows?
and it's really funny because the retail kids really like Wendy's. Like we see it populate here every now and then. You'll see Win in like, rank 15 to 20. So it's mind-blowing that they would attack their own customer base like this.
So I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but for years I've been having friends tell me that what the government does with the roadways is smart. Surge pricing, Rob, tolls are good.
Ah,
Okay.
So how are they implementing the surge pricing for Wendy?
they're going to put a screen at the entry that has the prices like McDonald's. And they're going
Okay.
to change the prices real time, they claim.
If the drive-through line gets too long, yeah, prices will go up.
Well, really?
You could just have it on a timer. It'd be easy enough to know. They know their foot traffic.
Wow, that's
That's a good idea.
interesting.
I mean, we want to eliminate the employees already, so that's good.
Eliminate the customers while you're at it.
No. I don't think that I'm trying to imagine myself walking into a McDonald's and hitting the door and thinking, oh, it's going to cost $2 more. I'm going to walk out and go to a different location.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
But that kind of pricing cannot be implemented in the marketplace.
Why not? They do it on
I
road.
mean, yeah, but road is
They change in real time the price of the rich person lane.
And they do it, the airlines do it all the time.
Yeah.
right, but food is different though. Food is something, I mean, what reasons do they have to say, okay, in the next hour, the price
It's
gonna go up
bonus. That's the only reason they need.
They have greedy shareholders who want yields and returns.
Not counting the CEO.
Well,
Yeah, that will not fly with the consumers.
Just imagine going into a supermarket and having surge pricing.
Oh, but you know what? And I heard that it may be happening like I heard something like electricity bills, right?
they've
Depending
already
on
done it there.
yeah. Why are they gonna stop there? I mean, they can do it in the grocery store, in the restaurants, right? If you
Sure.
make more, you pay more. Socialism.
Oh, you meant
at
that one. I
play.
meant surge pricing.
Yes. So I'm with Wani that the prices of lunch is far too high. Just yesterday, I decided to go to the grocery store and hang out to kill my 2 hours while I was in the town versus $14 for a stupid lunch.
I haven't eaten at Wendy's since high school. I don't remember like
How
what
much
are
is
the
$4?
There's
What are
there's been some reports of national franchisee holders in California being forced to price at the national level for specials and, national advertising campaigns. But they can't be profitable on that because of the $20 an hour
Mm.
Those,
labor outlaws.
those prices don't seem bad. McDonald's over $10.
Really?
I'll never go back to McDonald's over $10.
You mean $10 for a Big Mac?
Yeah, I guess it was sort of like it was a meal. It's like $12 for a meal, and I was just like, forget this. I'm not hungry.
They should call it an unhappy meal.
Well, I was going to go to a Mongolian barbecue. It was $16. I was like, oh, well, this, I only get one bowl for $16.
Oh, Big Mac meal $12.19.
That's pre-tax.
Yeah, exactly. And medium French fries is almost $5.
Quarter pounder meal is
Wow.
13. What
Pick
the hell?
California or Alaska.
Is Alaska different?
Well, of course.
Cheaper?
Oh, that's Alabama. Whoops. AK, okay. Anchorage.
How much
Uh,
cheaper?
It's
It's the
not,
same,
it's not
$12.19.
updated.
No, there was a message there that said click this button or something. I don't know.
Maybe
Um,
try like Arizona or somewhere else.
Yeah, enter your social security number and then we'll give you the prices.
let's
You'll
go back
see.
to San Jose.
If you make more now, they're gonna make you pay more.
Click allow. I did a click allow. I don't
So,
know.
It's not designed for a Mac.
Yeah, probably. Or Brave, yeah. But okay, we get the idea. So yes, surge pricing, yeah, that's not going to work out very well.
Wow.
Okay, back to
He's gonna join that marketing nitwit that JC Penney had on the
Yeah.
unemployment lines.
yeah. All right. Speaking of kids, let's look at what the retail fish are also looking at. And thanks again to Flaw for this. Looks like we're slightly bearish on Mara, Snowflake, the Spy, the vegan hell that is Beyond Meat, Palo Alto Networks, C3 AI, Supermicro, and bullish on the rest. Okay.
What is this website? Trading
Trading
Terminal?
terminal? Yeah. Yeah, I can paste
What
it in
is
the chat.
that?
Is it possible the color is the actual move today? That might be it.
Might be, right? Red
So
and
when
green.
you go on Mara, does it say
It's red.
it's because it's down, the stock is down?
Super down today.
Oh, I see what you mean. Does
So
that
the
make
size is
sense?
the number of mentions, and then the color is
Oh.
today's move.
Tradingterminal.com.
The Russell wasn't matched though. So Russell's up, right? And it's posted as red here.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
So I think this is unique to the boards. And ES is up, right? And it's red here. So that doesn't make sense.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, no, this is EverSource Energy. Never mind. But yeah, SPY is red, which doesn't make sense.
Spy's red right now.
No,
Right?
SPY is green.
Oh, it's green. Oh,
Green. Yeah.
so that website's not.
Yeah, so this
Accurate.
is, yeah, so the colors
Then maybe
match.
it's sentiment. It's probably
Yeah,
sentiment.
sentiment. Yeah, it's not the price action.
Oh, sentiment.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
And here's sector rotation stuff that we've looked at. They present it in a different format, which is also kind of cool. All right, here is the analytics from Quiver Quant, and this gives us a nice readout as well. This is fun. Put to calls mention ratio. So people are pretty bearish on Bumble. That's right. They just had earnings. This is a pretty popular female-oriented dating app. The woman has to initiate the first message, even if you both match, which means there's lots of awkward moments and it never happens.
And they're laying off people too.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, this is in the news. How does it work? Bumble.
It's horrible.
Like-
They also recycle old profiles. You never actually get removed. Like I found tons of friends as like girlfriends and like wives on Bumble before. It's
So
kind of
the women pick the men. So they're only pictures of the men in
no, no,
Bumble.
no. The women have to initiate the first message. It doesn't work otherwise. It doesn't work outside of that. So if we both match, you have to send the first message. If you don't, it just expires.
Oh,
It's
oh,
like
so they're pictures of women and men
right, you
in
have to swipe
the
to
website.
right if you like each other or not. But even if both
Oh,
parties like each other, the onus is on the woman
woman.
to initiate the first message, which they typically don't. And a lot of connections just die on the vine like that.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not a good idea.
But yeah, that's Bumble. So that's what this is.
I have better idea for the dating site
Oh,
that we have to talk about,
Now,
Warren.
hang on though, but hang on. Can't you go on Bumble and say I'm a woman?
but then your
Yeah, how do they
counterparty
know?
doesn't exist. They're not looking for men think that select the I'm a woman option.
I'm a lesbian, Warren.
Ah,
Married 28 years. Wonderful woman she is.
oh.
Maybe they could just change the site's name to Fumble instead of Bumble.
Fumble that's hilarious.
But remember, I have better names for my website, for my dating site.
Ditch the bitch. That's gonna be so
Yeah,
funny.
ditch the bitch. Ditch on ditch. We have to do that.
We'll have to get that web domain first, yeah.
I know.
All right, cool. Oh, here's our Black Swan list. I think I saw Kurt mention somewhere that I need to update the theaters of war. Or we forgot Guyana, Venezuela, territorial dispute. Okay, so that's under theaters of war. So, and I added Moldova seeking Russian aid since that came up today this week. But yes.
Right.
Sorry, what's that, Kurt?
It's potentially Transnistria too.
Transnistria. How do you spell this?
What is
That's
that?
Transnistria, Nistria.
This is it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Thanks for bringing that one up. I called my congressman today and they told me this. We have always been at war with Transnistria. You don't remember your 1984?
no, not to that granularity.
They kept telling everyone we have always been at war with Oceania. And then 6
Oh,
months later, we have always been at war with the other side. They just continually said
But
we've always
saying
been
that-
at war with X.
Oh, I
Hmm.
see. Okay.
yeah. You think the collapse of US dollars could be a black swan too?
I think it's getting less and less likely. I think the Bucks being kicked out way out there.
The currency collapse, that could be, right?
Um,
certainly has potential, but I don't see any real evidence that it's going to happen anytime soon.
Right. But to be on a black swan event list of what could happen, do we have that in there?
Oh, so world reserve currency shift?
Yeah, like a collapse of the US dollars.
So if
Currency shift, yeah.
the reserve currency, we need a new product. I mean, there's no new product. It's not going to be Bitcoin, that's for sure.
Right.
It's not going to be the euro. Euro's shit.
And the BRICS is
not
falling
coming.
apart.
They're looking,
Yeah.
they're looking for a new product. If there was a magical new product, you know, space weapons or something, you know, from Martian, then there might be a quick jump, but there's nothing on the horizon. But that's a 10-year horizon type of things.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's moving away from buying a lot more dollars, you know, or T-bills.
Yeah.
So what do they use instead?
Well, they're diversifying. Gold,
Gold,
some sort of
Bitcoin.
something that's associated with oil, hard assets.
And then if you guys saw the cell phone disruption, especially with AT&T,
Yeah.
it was solar flare related, looks like.
I don't know. Some people said cyber attack of some kind.
That sounds like an excuse.
I
Yeah.
thought they were claiming their satellite wasn't positioned correctly or something.
They're not going to tell you.
Exactly.
It was Trump.
It was Putin.
If it was solar flare, it should impact Verizon, T-Mobile also, right? Don't think.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But there were solar flares at the time. So who knows?
Yeah, you should also be adding another astronomy related thing to the list, which is nearby supernovas.
I think we have that included.
Yeah, I thought that was already in there.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. Oh, it's related
Don't-
to the gamma burst radiation.
Yeah.
So this is post red giant collapse.
As far
It's-
as
It's
far
not
as
necessarily a gamma ray burst, though.
Yeah, okay. This is
That
more
has to be
upstream.
pointed at us.
So this is
I have a good one. I
as
have a
far
good one.
as far as the sun flares only affecting one of the vendors, that does make sense when you take into account purchasing decisions. AT&T may have seen, oh wait, we can save 30 cents per thingamajig that they put out there by not buying the solar flare protection EMP burst capacitor set. Let's do it. So they went to the vendor and said, we don't want option X, we want option Y.
Oh, I see.
That's easy to have done.
Warren, I have a good one
what
for the
else?
black swan.
What else would you
Really
like?
good one. Alien attack.
Yeah.
Do we have that?
No, we do not.
Oh, okay, that is true. Really?
Alien attack.
That might be a benefit rather than
Yeah.
a bad
Not
thing.
really, but how about terrorist attack? That's covered somewhere. That is under
That
Like
is
if-
true.
people's our water system or
Like UFO has finally been disclosed as being real.
Okay, terror attack.
We have that terrorism.
No, we have
No, we
civil
do?
unrest.
No terrorism?
A dirty bomb is really likely. There's just too much cesium and other nasty shit out in the market.
Virus attack. Virus.
I think we have that. We have
We have that,
viruses,
yeah.
disease X, permafrost, zombie microbes.
Right.
I
So
think that's
we don't have dirty bomb though.
we do now. We do
We just
have
put it,
we do
yeah.
have yeah.
Well,
Do
you
we
don't
have a
even need it.
famine? Like food? Oh, we have, right? Food. Yep.
You don't even need a dirty bomb with places like Brazil having cesium in their dumps.
Well, that's the thing. It's the materials all over the place. The other one would be put something nasty in a water supply for a whole city.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much potential. We'll-
Yeah, water supply
we-
and power grids.
that though.
Sorry. What was that?
Nothing. There's topics that I don't want to talk about.
Ah, excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. So those are the Black Swan events. If there's anything else, please let me know. And then here's the theaters of war. Anything else are we missing? What did Ed post? The national government will be revealed this year to have been buying Bitcoin, without having to close the fact publicly. Aren't sovereign wealth funds obligated to disclose what they're in? I thought you had to disclose that.
Why? Who's going to enforce it?
Who's gonna
Ugh.
enforce it if, for example, there's speculation that one of the major oil powers in the Middle East has been talking with Nayib Bukele about Bitcoin, right? What if one of them decided to allocate 1% of their reserve assets to Bitcoin, and then it becomes a potential rush into, again, following the things that we've talked about before with Gresham's law. It becomes a race at that point as soon as one major national decides to go that direction. So I'll just put that out there as a counterpoint to the it has to be gold. It has had to be gold for the last 5,000 years. It may or may not be in the future. That doesn't mean that it necessarily will be either, but certainly a possibility.
Well, I think that's a fair point. And what else did you post? Edward Snowden software updates. Oh, that shift meme was pretty good. And what was this earlier?
Well, everyone was complaining about the price of food. The prices of your food is not going up. The price of your house is not going up. The value of your currency is going down. Understand, invert the math, right?
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of people taking bigger profits.
Right. But the point is, if you priced your stuff in something that could not be debased, technology naturally is increasing the productivity of humanity over time by about 2% compound per year. There's a number of studies on that. So your food, your software business, whatever it is getting cheaper. The problem is they keep printing more of the currency that you're valuing it in. And you think when you look at anything in your room, around you, in the environment, automatically you're assigning a price tag to it in their fiat denominated cuck bucks that they can print. And they have said that they will and have been printing with nothing more than a click of a mouse. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about your frame of reference.
Well, in the case of food, I've been going through the commodities. There's no reason for beef to be 70% more than only a couple of years ago. The inputs are not anywhere near that much more expensive.
Well, there is a reason in that many of the food processors are near monopolies now.
Oh yeah, exactly. So, the profit taking is sort of where I was going.
Right.
Yeah, but from a supply fundamental is what you're saying. Yeah, I agree 100%.
The inputs to the raw materials, yeah, they're not changing significantly.
Yeah, looking at the money printer itself, let's see, in Q4, we ballooned up 834 billion in debt, and that only yielded on the GDP side 334 billion.
Exactly. It's criminal.
Yep. It's not working. All right. And besides NVIDIA news, how overbought is the market? Well, indicators point that it's relatively overbought, but it could get more overbought going forward. So here's some good analytics from Bloomberg. Let's zoom in a little bit, or zoom out actually. So let's see. 2 standard deviations is up here, and 1 is right here. Okay. And where are we? Year over year change, relatively overbought, but not yet at extreme. So there's more room to go, unfortunately.
So what
So-
on this, I have a question.
Yeah.
This is again swayed by a Magnificent Seven, right? So if you look at the chart for RSP, which is equal weighted S&P, right? Is that overbought right now, or also the rest
Oh.
of the market? I mean, if you separate the big seven,
Oh, pardon me. This is S&P. So this
yeah,
isn't
so that
the
is dominated by still Magnificent Seven, right? It has
in a
major-
large part, yeah.
So how does RSP, which is equal weighted S&P, right? Is the broad market overbought? Is what I was trying to get at.
Okay, it's the broad market overbought. Well, in that case, would you consider the Russell 2000 a broader market?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Russell 2000, but it is dominated by a lot of debt-oriented or debt-exposed small caps, right? And even there, it is SMCI dominated.
Yeah, let's pull
I'm
it
just
up.
curious. I mean, I'm not saying either way. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I mean, at least on the momentum side, there's still room to go up. There's still strong net inflows. So the price will continue to rise as long as folks are adding to that pile of money.
Okay.
So we're still far away from the knife falling per se, but I think it will slow down, but at least for the near short-term future, you can't outfight gravity, and people are bidding the price up still. So yeah, that's a net 200 million shares per day. That's still significant volume.
I see.
Yeah. So until this goes below the 0 line and stays there, I wouldn't really prepare for big shorts on the market.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thanks, Warren. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And then yeah,
A lot of
so
money chasing returns. Some of it is just, it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be too much money looking for returns.
yeah.
The commercial real estate, anything that would have gone in commercial real estate or whatever.
Mhm.
That's why the super rich bought farms, and we could buy like all of Canada.
Yeah, hard assets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought this was a good chart to show you guys. So S&P 500 jumps over 2% to a record high. So moves this large to a new record have occurred 23 times in the past.
2% over how much time?
Looks like it's on the decade front. One.
So we've had days that, I mean, that might be single days, 2%.
Yeah.
It's 23 times in a lot of years.
Let's see. It doesn't specify. Yeah, good question. But yeah, thought that was a good peak though. What else? The Dallas Fed governor has some pessimistic statements. There's an odd chill in the air and tidings of pending doom. So that's always bullish. So let's see. The Dallas Fed's manufacturing survey headline indicator was negative for February for the 22nd straight month. So that could be a clue. And let's see, I thought there was a good quote. Job jumping has ground to a halt. I got some good labor stats or labor articles though. We can shift to that in just a bit. All right, cool. This might answer Satish's question a little bit better. I forgot I had this, but yes, small cap stocks may be at risk. And let's see, there's a good table here. Okay, here we go. All right, so here's the indices, all corrected to a scale of 100. So let's see. So here's the S&P outperforming mid caps and the Russell 2000. I guess small cap isn't a unified definition, but sure. Okay. But yeah, looks like there is higher alpha with the S&P overall. Yeah, Magnificent Seven indeed. Okay. Let's see. 40% of the companies in Russell 2000 have negative earnings. So this is a 12-month trailing earnings per share count, and the shaded regions are recessions. And we had the 2020 brief one, and the official US one hasn't started yet, despite England and Japan, I guess. Okay. Let's see. Number of, let's see, sorry. Rising share of companies with debt servicing costs higher than their profits. So not only is the Japanese economy on this path, but so are most Western governments overall. But yeah, this cannot be good for the Russell 2000 at all.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good touch.
20%. Wow. 1 in 5 are dead.
Wow.
That's crazy. Wow. Okay. I thought this is a premium article that I can't get into, but I thought it was a good headline, so I just saved it here. Interesting reminder of last year. And then I saw someone posted a version of this meme in the chat earlier, but I forgot who it was. But yeah, good stuff there. But yeah, let's look at currencies, and I got a nice inflow chart. So let's see. So this is all the crypto ETFs. Grayscale is still the #1 loser. And number 2, I guess, is the iShares product, followed by Fidelity, and then Bitwise, and then Franklin Templeton, and then looks like VanEck. Okay. But yeah. Bitcoin purchased by ETFs. New Bitcoin produced by miners. Oh, holy cow. Supply gets cut in half in April.
Yep, that goes to 450 after the halving.
Wow. Where does this analytic come out of?
So there's, and you can take a look at the source, but basically they track, who's doing the purchases through Coinbase. Because basically Coinbase, I believe, is the
Custodial.
Yeah, they're the custodian. HODL 15.
So are you saying a reverse split? A halving?
It's
Correct.
halving, yeah.
Yep.
Why? That doesn't make any sense.
It's
It's not
It's
a split.
It's not a
It's not
split.
split, no.
Yep.
It doubles. It's
It's
a
the network.
doubling of the effort to generate a new Bitcoin.
Yeah, so the way that Bitcoin is structured is it is programmatically in the code that there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin.
Wait,
During every 4-year epoch, approximately 4 years, 210,000 blocks, there is a reward to the miners, which is currently 6.25 Bitcoin. And that gets split every 4 years until the year 2140, when there will be no more Bitcoin mined.
okay, I got, yeah.
Okay, so that's how it works.
I don't track anything.
But it's the math that is in the code that is what makes Bitcoin unique. There is nothing else that is mathematically structured like that. Specifically so that it is decentralized. So even if Satoshi came back, at this point, there's nothing that could be done to change that code unless every single node and miner agreed to change the code.
Was there a backstory to the Coinbase issue with zero balances? Did you guys see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? It looks like to me, FUD, I mean, this is the centralization issue, is I'm very skeptical that this was an error on Coinbase's part. It was, we actually got up to about like pretty close to the
64.
all-time high. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
64,000.
And that's, of course, when this little glitch in the matrix materialized, which only affected retail, by the way. It did not affect any of the back end stuff with the ETFs. But this is why the not your coin, not your keys, not your coins, right? So this is the risk inherent to the ETFs, and we'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe Senator Warren gave somebody a call, and all of a sudden Brian got a little cold over at Coinbase. Wouldn't shock me at all.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed, a question for you. The 11,000 Bitcoin purchased by ETF, was that just one day? Yesterday? Just
Correct.
yesterday. Okay.
Correct. Yes. And there was, I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, I think the thing that's kind of surprising is I don't think there has been an ETF that has exceeded its volume of launch day. And I believe that did happen the other day, where they're actually doing more volume with these ETFs now than upon launch. For I think a few of your articles that you're posting, Warren.
Mhm.
Right. And also like billions of dollars are sitting on the sideline after that 90 days holding period, right? For
The
fund
lockout
managers.
period.
Yeah, lockup period
When
for
is
fund
that again?
managers.
When is
It's
that?
probably ETF started like a month or so ago. So maybe we got another month, the 90 days coming up, maybe next month or something. And I heard that fund managers already talked to a lot of like pension funds and, telling them to allocate 2-3%.
Right.
Or
their,
more. I think
more,
recently
yeah.
there was a thing with BlackRock where
10,
their
right?
hedge funds, and it was 20, they were recommending an allocation
20,
of
yeah.
28% or
Right.
something.
I heard that
So
too. It was like, wow, that's crazy.
it'd be a while, I think, until all the boomers get involved, but we're noticing like at our last Bitcoin meeting locally, which was about a week or so ago. We're seeing a lot of old timers coming in having questions. There were a lot of boomers at our thing asking questions about the ETF and Bitcoin, et cetera. So we'll see. They're coming, but yeah, they can't.
Absolutely.
So far, right now, what is it? All of the registered investment advisors, they really can't allocate anything. Our Bitcoin meetup, the group leader's husband, he is a RIA and obviously Bitcoiner, and has been trying to allow his clients to use the ETFs, and he has been told no, you basically have to wait.
Yeah, but once that 90 days lockup period is over with, there'll be billions pouring in.
More, I guess. Because
Yeah.
there's already a fair amount
Yeah, I know.
pouring in. I mean,
But look at
11,000
BlackRock.
Bitcoin
Yeah.
is a lot of billions. I don't know exactly how much that is, but it's notable, I think, that BlackRock's ETF has it already exceeded Saylor's balance at
Oh, I don't know.
MSTR? It's
I don't know.
if not, they are on track to
Mm-hmm.
in a pretty short amount of time.
Well, the price gone up by a lot since the launch of ETF.
I mean, I think what's notable too is we've never seen, for those of us who are technical analysts, we've never seen Bitcoin prices at this relationship to the prior all-time high at this point in the halving cycle. Usually the halving happens, the supply gets cut in half, and then about 4 to 6 months later, you start seeing prices moving up to challenge that previous all-time high. And this is a little different. So be interesting to
Hmm.
see what that means. A lot of speculation about the last cycle and this cycle and the differences. So we'll see.
So January 5th is the ETF launch date, right? So for the RIAs, they're locked out for 90 days.
Believe so.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So April 4th is the soonest.
April 4th, okay.
Right before the halving.
Right before the halving. Yeah, halving like in the middle of April.
Yeah, I think
So
it's
they-
estimated. It's based
They
on the
time all of
blocks.
this.
But talking with one of the block clock folks the other week, I think they're looking at April 19th, April 20th, right around that time is when the halving is. So
So I think the approval of the ETF is time to the halving, just before the halving.
I mean, who knows?
Who knows,
what
right?
was on Gary Gensler's mind, right? So
Not Gary Gensler, more of those ETFs companies, BlackRock, Fidelity. They time it.
yeah, I mean, maybe like they know a surprising amount.
Yep.
So what's the halving block again? Do you know, Wani?
The halving block.
Because it's every 210,000 blocks. I'm trying to remember what it is because we're currently at
don't.
832,575. Yeah, so 840.
Okay.
844. Yeah, sorry, 840,000 is the halving. So it's not a date, it is a block, and the blocks are printed approximately every 10 minutes apart, but it's not exactly.
So now when the reward is cut in half, wouldn't that discourage miners to, they have to mine a lot harder to get
Yeah,
the
so
reward?
remember there's a difficulty adjustment,
yeah.
right? So there's a difficulty adjustment every approximately 2,000 blocks, which is about every 2 weeks. So when the reward changes, obviously the current hashing power right now is 546 exahash. It's been as high as almost 700 exahash, and so the miners will obviously have to. It's a competitive. I mean, it's like any commodity. If you think about it, it's a very competitive zero-sum game that those miners are playing. But of course, they know that the halving is coming. It's just math, right? So they're planning their businesses around it, and have been for some time in terms of what they're going to purchase for hardware, what their electricity break-even costs are going to be. It's a whole thing for those that are deep into the mining stuff. But it's very competitive. It's like being any sort of, like, if you're an oil rig operator, it can be a very profitable business, but it's also a very just mathematically ruthless business from what I understand.
Well, maybe we can use up all the world's energy just on generating Bitcoins.
I mean, that was the big fear and FUD that is out there. Of course, you could make the same argument for AI or anything else. I'll push back. The main pushback I would put back is not even an environmental one. What does it cost to secure the US dollar? How many billions of dollars do we use per year to secure the US dollar? So what is it worth to secure $1.2 trillion? What should you value that at? I mean, we're all traders. We know what a dollar is worth, right? So I think that's all just FUD. It costs money to secure money. How much does a single US aircraft carrier cost to secure the US dollar, and how many of those aircraft carriers are there? Is that a good investment? I mean, clearly the US has decided that that's a good investment over time.
Expensive though.
Yeah, well, actually, it's probably quite a bit cheaper, and there's a lot of math that goes into it. It's actually quite a bit cheaper to secure Bitcoin. So, like, that could be an argument for it, say, versus the US dollar. But regardless, it's a stupid attack vector. It's a nonsensical one. So it's basically saying that money doesn't have any value, which if that were true, then just give me all your money, right?
Or you could say, how much damage did Ho do in such a short number of years? It's not very secure at this point compared to 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean those are questions. I mean, what type of damage have we done to the US dollar since 1971? I know there's a lot of people who are on board with that hypothesis here, right? How expensive was it to go off the gold standard?
Incalculable.
That's the logic made sense back then. It's you had to look at it.
I mean, it might have been that we didn't have any choice, and that's probably because we started printing. I mean, I think we have Rob on the call. You know, what was it, Jekyll's Island or whatever? When did we start? When did the real money nonsense begin?
1911, 1912.
Yeah, right. So maybe that's why we didn't have a choice in 1971. But at some point we had a choice, and we made a choice to go off of a hard money standard. And there's a reason why it was the Gilded Age. And if you take a look back without like the modern historical nonsense, and there's a reason why things were flourishing during that time. And, you know, in my estimation, I don't think that going away from that was the right decision.
Redemption from physical gold was sucking all the gold out of the United States, is the simple way to say this.
In 1971, yeah, exactly. And a big part of that, though, was because, you know, at some point they decided to create more dollars than there was gold. And that's the big issue, right? I mean, if there were no liars, if everybody only issued dollars that were physically backed by real gold, we would never have had the problems that we had. I mean, I think that's the gold bug argument.
So if you have British pounds and the banking system creates a bazillion British pounds, and the British pound versus the dollar is not ever changed. I mean, they're basically printing dollars. It's a bigger equation. It's not as simple as, you know, the simple people.
Well, it's not simple, I think, because it wasn't enforceable. I mean, and it was centralized, right? I mean, it was easy back in the days where people physically custodied their own gold because they had a self-incentive to not cheat or be cheated. But once it became centralized, those central planners have very big incentives to cheat, essentially, and to print more dollars than there was gold.
Or print more British pounds.
Or more pounds or more yen or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
You're never going to find a politician that's willing to live within those means, starting in America with George Washington and paying the soldiers. I mean,
that's what too. Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why we would expect them to. I mean, Rob Walker and his friends want $1.70's worth of government services, but are only willing to pay $1.20 for it.
Yeah, I mean, a big problem is, I think, the war machine. Also, nobody, you know, if politicians actually had to vote to get everybody to go to war, we wouldn't go to war nearly so much as the politicians would like us to. I think a lot of the wasteful spending ends up getting funneled into those areas. But anyway, that's a big philosophical discussion. I guess we may find out if the world does adopt a Bitcoin standard, because unlike gold, you can't, as a centralized planner, and that's why, you know, Warren and all of these other folks, you know, the rats hate rat poison. Jamie Dimon hates, of course, bankers don't like Bitcoin for the same reason that Hilton doesn't like Airbnb. Like it's fundamental to their business as to why they don't like it.
But also, you know, the entire world is paying for that aircraft carrier through the inflationary effects of the dollar printing. And
absolutely.
And this is why I think that the thing at Jekyll Island wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It had no moral anything there. It only had everyone in the world saying, we want our security to be created in the most physically secure location on Earth. And you, the United States, because of your borders, because of your Mississippi, you will be the armory. We will absorb via the fiat currency, via the reserve currency of the world. We will absorb your inflationary tactics. They're not bad, they just are. And they're required for us to purchase these stability creation devices that some people would call an aircraft group, a carrier group. I call them stability creation devices. I mean, you know, our good friend Adolf was a stability destruction device. He needed to be eliminated. He came after Jekyll Island. We realized there were issues. There's stability. Go watch the Loki series for what you do when there's too much instability. And now, what is the purpose for all this? What is the ultimate good in all of this? Not moral good, evolutionary good. The good is that as everyone comes online, we need to reduce stepwise envy. My house is worth X. If my neighbor's house is worth 10X, we're going to have stability problems. But if I go up the street 2 miles behind a gated community and it's 10X, it's not a problem. And the entire world is that community. So the fact that Warren lives in a house that's 1000X, the house in Africa, well, that will be fixed. And it will be fixed slowly by, you know, stockpiling dollars into Bitcoin, so they'll never be spent. This is a nice reduction in inflation. We can also figure out, I mean, it seems like the beast itself is adapting and creating fewer versions of itself. We've decided to replicate less. Look at the replacement rate things. So this is good that we have technology, because we're not going to have children to work in McDonald's. 2 thumbs up there. And then, you know, it's just, there's nothing bad about it. It just is.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I think the people in Malawi, Africa, would probably disagree with your assessment if they were capable of doing so, if they had the level of education. For a reference point, those people have recently suffered a 40% debasement in their currency. They cannot get a hold of dollars. They are stuck in their local fiat shitcoin.
Understood. But, you know, about 150 years ago, the US dollar was not the reserve currency of the world. And the only people that benefited from it, except for the ultra wealthy all around the world, were my grandparents, my great grandparents. The people in Mawali couldn't even think about. I mean, that's just crazy. What do you mean use the US dollar to trade? Are you kidding me? Just the fact that it's available to them. I mean, I have yet to hear anybody give a good number on penicillin or condoms, and the people in Mawali have that.
Yeah, the problem, unfortunately, is it's come at a considerable cost. So before, I really recommend, if you get a chance, Alex Gladstein talks about sort of the modern economic imperialism that we've pushed out to Africa and other so-called developing countries. And I think we've replaced we've replaced physical enslavement with dollar enslavement, and it's a disproportionate effect.
They can close their borders and put guns on them and say, we won't accept it.
They really can't.
Okay. So it's complete coercion, 100%.
Well, it is in the sense that most of these, the IMF never met a dictator that it didn't like. And so,
yes, because it's better than their alternative. Remember what happened when we pulled the lid off by killing Saddam? That was smart.
So this is who you're looking for, by the way. Anyway, I highly recommend reading some of his books about human rights and what the dollar and just any of the Western currencies have done. There's a reason why these countries stay developing and are never developed. and essentially much of our lifestyle is effectively in the West is effectively subsidized by the strip mining of the resources of these countries that is done through a very Machiavellian and I would say somewhat deliberate approach by our Western governments. Read about the French, what is it, the CF franc or whatever the heck it is. Yeah, no, I don't think that that is the best path forward. And it may have been the best in the 1913 technology of Jekyll Island may have been the best technology we had at the time, but I think there's better ways going forward, and certainly much more equitable ones. Anyway, I don't want to eat up all of our time on human rights things, but yeah, if you're curious, I definitely don't think it is the most just thing out there. And I think most countries that are outside the Western sphere of the US do not necessarily think that we are all that in a bag of chips. Most of them have a very ambivalent or maybe even antagonistic viewpoint on America.
Their words say that, but their central bank coffers are using the US dollar. I encourage them to find a different one. And
of course, they'll always find a strong man. We'll always find a strong man. And of course, the CIA doesn't help any Latin American countries at all.
I encourage them to bring their words in alignment with their true belief systems.
Okay, we're getting slowly out of the scope of our call, but
for sure.
Yeah. All good. The fair points on both sides. Before we finish our currency news, I thought this was interesting. Jamie Dimon is unloading some 800,000 shares, and I just did the math. That's about 85% of his holdings. He just unloaded on the 22nd.
85%.
Yeah, so he has $750 million.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
He liquidated to 108.
It's outrageous.
108 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So and it
God, that's incredible.
Yeah, and then JP Morgan is at a relative all-time high, I think. Yeah, it's at all-time high. So he literally sold out on the top.
Where is he gonna go?
Anywhere but JP Morgan stock.
No, but that's a lot of money. You gotta buy like I said, a whole forest in Canada.
Yeah.
Warren, you know how you said he sold out at the top?
The nominal top.
No,
yeah.
but think about how that happens. He filed his 8Ks a long time ago. The people who need to scratch his back say, "Oh, not a problem, bro. Push, push, push. There you go. You get the big bucks. Remember me in your next life."
So that's manipulation then.
No, it's
not at all. Free market at work.
Free market at work. Yeah.
Well, while you're on side trading, can you put Pelosi's trades?
Pelosi?
Yeah, she did recently. Whatchamacallit?
PNW, Palo Alto.
She had he or is it Pete that did it? They had deep in the money calls, I believe. That was their favorite instrument.
Yeah, there was actually a pretty good article about that on sfgate.com. I was impressed that they explained how calls work fairly succinctly.
Oh, excellent. What's her strike? 200 expires. It's a leap. January 2025.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's doing poor man's cover calls. She's buying those and selling calls against them.
That's incredible.
Poor man's cover call, huh?
So I guess we're gonna have a bull market until at least 2025.
What was the strike?
200.
200 strike. What is the price?
The money is not a story. It's like she's saying, "Oh, it's still going to be above 200." That's not a story. If she would have bought some shares, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's leverage.
What price did she pay for that 200 strike?
She paid the
Out
end
to
of money
January.
value. She paid the end of money amount with, so she doesn't have to have a time decay.
What, say again?
She doubled her leverage is basically the way they kept it.
How did she do it?
It's at 310 now. So if you buy the 200s, it's going to be in the money for $110.
Right.
So the amount in the money is pretty much what you pay plus a little bit more for time value.
Yeah, so she doubled her leverage. That's not a bad trade.
Wow.
But it's not a story that she knows something. If she would have said 500 strike, then okay, she knows something. Right.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Deep in the money, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like buying stock,
Mhm.
except with leverage.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So she bought it when it dipped after the earnings, right? When it dropped.
No, that's when it came out. When did
This
she
is
buy it?
this is 90 days ago, I'd guess.
Yeah, it's always 3 months.
Oh,
Yeah. So we're guessing if this came out 22nd and
90 days ago.
November 1st. So what's November 1st price? Around
What's a pretty high price?
November 1st.
It was the
250?
price at the
250?
time.
Yeah, 250
250.
plus or minus. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. She's still up, so you don't have to worry too much. Yeah. And I don't know if this is good or bad, but Jim Cramer threw in the towel. Oh no.
This was after he said something about like after I think the dip that happened after the first bit of buying or whatever after the ETFs came up. I think someone like noted that he was wrong by like some insane percentage. He basically is perfect at timing these little micro tops and bottoms.
Yeah. So this might be horrible for crypto. The worst thing they needed was Jim Cramer to tweet about it.
Hang on. That's not doctored?
No, this is real.
Okay, so look at what he just said. What's the current value? 60K?
Approximately,
60, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He is claiming there's going to be a 66% increase in the next 34 days.
In the next 34 days? Oh, in Q1.
He
Who
said
knows?
that. I'm just reading.
Yeah. Q1.
I mean, Jim says all sorts of things.
Well, yes, but I mean, he just made a claim for a 66% increase in 34 days from the 27th through the 31st.
Okay.
Pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's insane. Why would anyone listen to this person?
He sells a lot of
I mean,
mutual
people
fund
do
Advertisements.
clearly. We're watching him, so he's got our attention. Like, aren't we the dummies?
Yeah, but my point is that this is yet another prediction.
It is.
I mean, that's all he does. Yeah. Okay.
How many times is he wrong?
often.
More
Yeah,
than
he's
half
wrong more than
percent.
he's right.
Yeah.
He's been doing this since like 95 too.
Yeah.
I remember watching him when I actually gave a damn about him.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, except, yeah, of course. I mean, everyone knows that he's a clown, but obviously he's a pretty smart clown because people keep watching him.
All right,
Yep.
no worries. Let's pivot
Yeah.
to domestic news, and we got to start off with our Hertz car sales and look at the latest debacle with Tesla. And we gotta get screenshots of the count, and we gotta look up the cheapest car and the highest mileage. All right, let's save these here. 229. So last week the count was 435. So looks like we've stayed at the same number basically, but they probably moved a couple units. So let's see the cheapest units. 18.3, 18.9, 19.5. Looks like folks are buying up the $18,000 units, ironically. Wow. And let's see, highest mileage. Mileage, highest to lowest. Oh, this should be good. Wow, $97,000, sorry, 97,000 miles in Roseville. That's incredible. Okay. Yeah, this is the cheapest in San Diego.
You got anything in Honolulu?
Let's take a look. Yeah. Oops. Any distance. What's your zip code, Alan?
96816.
Sorry, 9?
66816. Yeah.
Oh, it's a little pricier.
Wow, it's actually in lower mileage. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Rush, yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
That's funny. Okay. So yes, the race to debase Tesla 3 resale values is underway. Wow. Let's see. And Flav says this impossibly clean 500,000 mile Toyota Prius is probably nicer than your car. Oh, that's awesome. Wow. Cool. All right, let's get to other domestic news. And yeah, we've seen this. We started with $20,400 for a Model 3. Now we've seen it depreciate another $3,000. That's incredible. Okay. Fun news in Texas. We got to speed up a little bit faster, but there was a problem with the nuclear bomb plant. But nothing to worry about there. We talked about Wendy's briefly with their potential surge pricing. That's going to be a disaster. We don't talk about dog news often enough, but it looks like Biden's 2 German Shepherds, Master and Commander, have bitten Secret Service and staff dozens of times each. I'm not sure if you know, but GSD bite strength is like top 3, if I recall correctly. Dog bite strength.
Are they getting
Maybe
old?
Biden could improve his position on Israel if he had his dogs bite Netanyahu.
Yeah. Oh, Kangal is 743. Holy shit. Pounds per square inch. Band dog. What is that? A Mastiff? Cane Corso. Those are not that common. Dog de Bordeaux? What? Hasu Inu. Okay. Okay, Mastiffs are top. Where's the German Shepherds? Rottweiler's pretty up there. Oh, here we go. German Shepherd, number 12. Oh, okay. But yeah, that's still up there. So yeah. So that's Biden for you. He can't take care of his dogs or his son. So yeah.
Maybe the dogs are getting old.
No, I think first of all, those numbers of 238 was a lot lower than even the bulldog. But I think what's happening is they know the owner and they know he's in trouble and they're trying to protect him.
He's in
No,
trouble all
seriously.
the-
I
Well,
think that the
German
dogs are
is-
like people are moving towards the president and they understand his physical health and they're like, this isn't a good thing, you're getting out. And they do what they need to do.
I think that's a good case. That's a good case. Okay. Let's fast forward to our news. We're running a little bit over time, but US durable news have collapsed since January. No surprises there. Let's see. A local hardware store in San Francisco now has escorts for your shopping experience. So you get a one-on-one employee escort to reduce rampant shoplifting. Yeah, that's not going to work out very well. What else?
So are the escorts attractive females or what?
Maybe they look like Pamela Anderson or Tim Allen, one of the two.
No, they're definitely not. I saw the video on that.
That would actually
it
be a
didn't
good
make it-
marketing strategy.
I'm sure there's
To
lots
get
of.
more men to the store.
There you go.
They just need to double door these things, and and beat people with sticks again.
Yeah.
Yep.
What else? There's
Sticks are now legal in California. Did you
Yeah,
see?
that's why I brought it up.
What?
Nice.
Sticks?
Yeah.
I'll get you the link. Hold tight.
What do you mean sticks are not legal before?
No, individuals weren't allowed to have billy clubs or clubs.
What?
So
Yeah.
what if that applies to Bali songs? Or
I
better
didn't-
yet, basically what is a eskrima? Because eskrima uses a pair of sticks.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are legal if you're in an actual martial arts class, though, aren't you? Or aren't they?
Should be.
Yeah, but the way how they banned nunchucks, remember?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they basically block eskrima sticks.
Check the chat.
California can carry sticks again.
Okay.
The very first line there, right there, it says Benitez overturned another unconstitutional law in California.
Yes.
And then about halfway through that video, that guy shows the actual rulings. Not that one.
You just bring a cane. There was never really an issue.
Okay.
So billy clubs are allowed. Okay. Mm.
Well, the courts jumped in. That was the highlight. I mean, the courts are getting involved and they're pushing California around.
Okay. Okay, sweet. Good to know. And then shifting gears slightly to commercial real estate, we're seeing some fireworks here. We saw that horrible sale in Ohio the other day for $9 a square foot, and now we're seeing a whole tower sell for $1 in Manhattan. Folks are just unloading like crazy, so could be a problem. And let's see, here's office vacancy rate. It's at its highest level since 2000 and is likely to rise further if the shift to remote work persists. And I definitely think that could continue.
Was that $1 a foot or $1?
$1.
$1 for the whole building, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
How wasn't that below book?
It's definitely below book. They're just
recycling the copper is worth more than $1.
they're just trying to get rid of the toxic asset because it's probably
Sure.
eating them alive for carrying costs. Yeah. And who is the landlord again? Let's see. Canadian Pension Fund. Okay.
Yeah, it's a huge Canadian pension fund.
Yeah.
Not tiny. Big.
Hmm.
What's it called? Why do they anonymize the organization? Okay, we don't have time to dig in, but yeah, that's happening. More news here. Goldman Sachs chimes in that office tower prices need to plunge 50% for housing convergence to make sense.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So here is the inventory of non-viable offices. And national, it's about 11%. A lot of it is stacked in San Francisco, as you can see here. Also in New York is trailing closely behind. And then Seattle is number 3. So yeah, top tech metros for sure. Okay. Shifting to the residential side, median house down payments. Here's a list for each US state. So we'll look at the obvious ones. California, 84.2K. And we got folks in New York, right? $51,000. Wow. And what's Texas? 20,000? Under 20,000. Holy cow. Florida, 98,000. That's incredible. Montana, 72,000. Oh, wow. What? That's kind of hefty. Okay. National average is 31,000. Okay. And then here's down payment by states. Wow. Ouch. 28% for Washington. Okay. In Hawaii, 98,000. Oh my gosh.
Holy
98,000.
shit.
Yeah.
I know
Wow.
the homes are in the $1 million mark, but wow, that's outrageous.
Gotta keep the jumbo loans happy. And then here is the home builder ETF that we've been looking at every now and then. So it's ITB, and this has still been trading sideways fairly consistently since winter of last year. So yeah, it's still holding. And hence US home prices rose for 11th straight month in December, but capital costs are still increasing on the back end. And there's another Goldman article here I found. Oops. Let's see. So let's see. Momentum index improved marginally from last month. That's not quite the one I wanted. Oh, commercial and international billings. Here we go. So they're not selling enough square footage to keep the sector alive. So dark blue is commercial/industrial. Light blue is institutional. I'm not sure what qualifies as pure institutional, but I would imagine that's more cubicles than raw industrial space. But yeah, those look like horrific numbers either way. Okay. And we looked at a variant of this the other day. This is years of supply by sector. So we looked at warehouses last time. Here's Class A office, Class B, 23 years. Holy cow. Apartments, industrial, senior housing, storage, retail malls, retail other, and retail strip malls. So, wow, holy cow. And this looks just like Chinese news, but about a year to a year and a half delayed. It's literally the same stuff almost. So yeah. Let's fast forward a little bit. Oh, Airbnb is having a Armageddon in Palm Springs. And we talked about this thing about a month ago. This is a fun title. It's an Airbnb bust. Home in Palm Springs fall quicker than the meme stock. So yes, homes that were selling for 1.3 million in May of 2023 are now selling for 625K. That is insane. So let's pull up Airbnb as a whole. They're okay at the moment, but I think this trend will continue overall. But yes, local markets are getting decimated as folks are banning just the short-term minded rental market. So yeah, lots of folks that are underwater there. Okay. I thought this was kind of dumb. An LA office tower is going to be torn down to make room for EV charging stations. But yeah. Okay, let's shift over to tech news. And I saved this image from last week still, but yeah, just to remind us that there's life without tech as well. So here's the S&P with and without tech. And is Ross still here? Yeah. We need an update if you can find for this original image that we saved from I think 2 weeks ago. But yeah. Cool. This is a premium article. I didn't have it, but I still thought the headline is still relevant for us. So yeah, hedge funds are dumping tech stocks while retail is buying. So no surprises there. And I thought this is a good article to at least phase us into tech news. So the entire market is chasing one stock. And to no one's surprise, that's NVIDIA. And let's see. We're seeing some interesting feedback here. Here is Ms. Solida Marcelli from UBS Global Wealth Management. Earnings growth for the tech sector is robust, justifying its valuation premium. Yeah, so just good statements like that. Here's NVIDIA's price to sales ratio. That's how many years of business you need to justify 1 year's worth of production. Like that's just insane. But sure. Let's see. This is a nice table against everybody else. There's not a lot of folks more insane than Nvidia, it looks like, ironically. Okay. So yeah, this could be nuts. And it was this. Oh, S&P all-time new highs. Let's see. Let's match up the last one. This format is a little bit hard to make out. Okay, so here's 119, 2024. And comparing to the 95 boom and bust here. Wow, let's see. 63-day rally into all-time high. 1-year forward return. Returns before next bear market start. All right, this is a little bit hard to read. But just comparing moments of exuberance, let's see, probably wasn't quite as bad as 1995 yet, at least, in terms of bubbliness. Okay. We saw this on another chart. Okay, I think that was it. Okay, cool. Let's go to a next bit. I think you guys probably saw this. There is some progress with the Cybertruck in the sense that there is at least armor glass deterrent. So yeah. And let's see, there's been some interesting AI updates this week. So a chatbot from Microsoft gives bizarre responses that are pro-suicide. And if you follow any news about Canadian healthcare, this would be funny if they were getting like requests for assisted suicide and whatnot for Canadians. But that's haven't happened.
It's also reminiscent of antidepressants that make you more likely to commit suicide.
Yeah, one of the side effects is murder. Murder and suicide. That's always good. Let's see. And then Google has its racist AI that won't produce any white images for let's see, American Revolutionary Soldiers. Yeah. So that's kind of dumb. But yeah, Google might be a upcoming woke trade that's kind of falling apart. So let's see. Even though they've been trading kind of downish or sideways-ish, inflows are still really strong. So this might not be a legitimate shorting moment there. Okay. What other fun news happened in tech? Oh yes, Apple has abandoned their Apple Car ideas. And I remember Elon talking about this a long time ago. He was calling out like the Apple car engineers were all like Tesla rejects or something. Yeah, Apple hired the Tesla engineers we fired. So this is like 2015. So if you guys vaguely remember this, it seems like 8 years later, that was a very bad investment on Apple's side. But yeah. And then here's Apple going a little heavy with buybacks. Is this justified or not? It's more of a question of do they really see lack of investment opportunities outside of just their own underlying asset? So, excuse me. But yeah, at least on their own on purchases side, it hasn't slowed down at least. And the magic of stock price buybacks. Let's see. Outstanding shares here. Wait, is this 26,000? Does this make sense? Oh, sorry. Millions of shares. Okay. So comparing, let's see, EPS versus long-term buying. I guess it's EPS is relatively stable to justify it. But let's pull up Apple. We haven't looked at them in just a second. Okay, so pretty unfavorable, at least on the tech side. It's been quite unpopular and getting more unpopular with time. So that doesn't help. So the price might be dragged lower going forward into time. And looking at the near-term betting market, let's see. Folks are buying the dip though. So that is happening. Are they unjustified? Perhaps. Okay. Looks like they'll have to figure out more than just buybacks, but yeah. Okay. All right, let's go to the next article. Oh, this is kind of dumb, but has anyone dealt with a e-bike injury or known about anyone who has been hurt? Just curious.
Well, I certainly
But-
get the strong impression that a lot of e-bike riders have no idea of how to ride a bike.
You know, I totally agree on that one. Come on. It's like Simon Cowell is a good example. He already, crashed twice, screwed up his neck.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. But yeah, 1 in 10 require hospital.
Why is he tending to his own movement? Does he have like 10 drivers on call?
I don't know, maybe he wants to show off his plastic surgery face or something. It's not, we're not sure. But yeah, lots of e-bike injuries. I gathered a list of bike companies, but a lot of them are too tiny to trade and they don't have a lot of week leaves, so I kind of gave up on that idea. But what else, what was interesting here? I didn't realize Shimano was a publicly traded company, so that's kind of cool. What else? Oh,
They've been doing bicycle gear for a long time.
and fishing rods, or not fishing rods, but reels, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. And then shifting gears to pandemic beneficiaries. Here's the folks that were high flying in 2020 and 2021. Moderna, Etsy, DocuSign, Zoom, and Peloton. So $1,000 parked there would be worth very, very low amounts today. So you would have lost your shirt with Peloton, Zoom, DocuSign, and yeah, mainly these three.
Well, what is the first one?
Moderna, yeah.
I don't remember who they are.
Pfizer competitor, vaccine player.
Oh, I see. Vaccines then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then we kind of hinted about this earlier. Intuitive Machines, their moon mission nears end, and the shares crash harder than the lunar lander. Let's pull up their share price. Soundhog IV is 707. Oh my God. It's up almost 15% for the day. That's crazy. Okay. But yeah, what is Intuitive Machines ticker? Let's see.
LUNR.
LUNR. That's lunar. That's cute. Ouch. I didn't know they were booming and busting so fast. Wow.
I don't really understand why their probe looked like it had such a high center of gravity. That was kind of a strange design choice to my mind.
Let's take a look. Oh wow. That is really vertical. Wow. Really? That's good for stability. How many rocket scientists have approved this idea? Okay. We're gonna make it wobble.
Of course, I guess that makes it fit on the rocket easier, but still, it seems kind of an odd design.
Payload delivery versus, landing stability, priorities. Good times. Yeah, so that pump and dump's going nowhere. Let's see, Kathy Woods is trimming her NVIDIA stake and her TSM stake as well. So that's just funny. Ride your losers, but cut your winners, right? Good times. And let's see, let's shift to quickly over some labor news. There might be some potential strikes with some Gulf Coast ports. So we'll see how those labor unions fare in a couple of weeks. We love talking about demographics. Japan's demographic implosion. Live births crashed to a record low, and they hit the number 12 years ahead of the forecast. And as you know, Japan's public debt to GDP is one of the highest on the planet. It's like 3 or 4x. And that puts a lot of pressure on the citizens. And they're living in a constantly deflationary environment, no less, as well. So it's just really tough. But yeah.
South Korea is having problems with low birth rates too, even
Oh,
though they're
yeah.
trying to provide a lot of incentives to increase it.
Yeah. All of Asia is having a calamity.
So Japan culture also is that they're holding the individuals are holding a lot of that debt. It's really screwed up.
And they don't want to lose face or call the debts in. They just let them sit on the books. We don't have time to get into this, but there were secret spy bases in the Ukraine, and there's been interesting shadow games in the backdrop. So fun stuff there. And we looked at this about 2 or 3 weeks ago with the world's worst passports. And this is the flip side. This is the best passports. So let's see, most powerful. North American, so Canada, US. Let's see, there's a couple Eurozone ones. Singapore, Japan's up there. Looks like Japan and South Korea is accepted in more places than the US, ironically. 194 versus 188. And Australia is pretty good as well. Okay, wow. Lots of second passport ideas here. Okay. All right. As a related note to the Japanese population, here's an article on the world's oldest populations. And let's see, 2024, Japan is number 1, Italy number 2, Finland, Puerto Rico, Portugal, Greece, Germany, and Croatia. And by 2050, it'll be Hong Kong, holy cow, South Korea, Japan, Italy, Spain, Taiwan, Greece, and Portugal. You know who's not on here? Let's think. Indonesia, Brazil, India, and what other billion population places? Nigeria. So yeah, kind of intense. Okay. Fun oil news. Let's see. India's oil supply from Russia is being threatened by US sanctions. So India's having problems being the off the books flipper of Russian oil assets. But yeah, they might have some additional sanctions to deal with. Looks like there are 500 targets of the new sanctions. Okay. Have you seen this type of activity before, Dave? Do you think this will affect crude much?
I don't know, but I did see that article and I didn't dig into it. I don't know. The United States sanctioning everybody it becomes less and less interesting. You know,
yeah.
We screwed up banking and people are trading outside our markets.
Yeah. And we're running out of time, but yeah, we might see further tightening in the crude market. What else? Oil tanker shortage in the Red Sea is you know, that 12% of global trade is those numbers are adding up. And then still silver premiums are relatively high compared to gold. We don't have really time to get into that too much, but Costco is selling silver eagles. Zimbabwe is trying to launch a gold-backed currency, and this might end in death or dismemberment. We'll keep our eye on that. Heads tend to roll when you get around OPEC and US dollars, but yeah. Yeah. Lots of fun China news. For starters, let's see, China is now at the 3,000 level that it's been hovering on for a long time. So that's the key psychological level. So it basically stayed at 3,000 for 2 decades, plus or minus. So yeah, it's back at that level with lots of jerry-rigging and shenanigans. And currently there is massive civil unrest all over China and lots of lockdowns and arrests over that. There's still a lot of outrage and lots of inaction from the CDC over the Chinese biolab that was playing with all kinds of creepy crawlers. And as we mentioned, there was a huge cash injection to get the Chinese stock market up to the 3,000 level. That cost, I think, about $2 trillion RMB. So an immense amount of money was used to fix a debt-driven problem with more debt. So that's not going to work very well. But what else? Let's actually pull up the Chinese charts really quick. Here's FXI. So here's that brief blip. This is Chinese large tech stock, and we had that brief injection of a lot of currency, and it's kind of petered out. And on the momentum line, we're seeing inflows during that Chinese New Year's and mass injection episode, but that might be running out of steam. So here is Chinese internet stocks with KWeb, and it's been in sell-off territory for a long time. And despite Beijing's intervention, it was a short-lived response. And if you like a more leveraged product, there's CWeb, which is a 2Xer. And then if we look at specific assets, there's like Alibaba, which is a #1 disaster here. NTES just had earnings. It's also didn't do very well. Baidu as well had disastrous earnings and gap down, and is also in continued unpopularity here. So yeah, lots of pessimistic Chinese news, and we'll skip the other stuff. And as I mentioned before, a lot of the Chinese nationals are escaping to San Diego. There's a lot of expats there. And I found a good video for you guys. Let me fast forward a little bit. It's running out of time. Oh, here we go. Chinese folks at the border. And most of them are young military-aged men. So, yeah. This guy is 40, but 30s, 20-something, 30-something, 30s woman, 30s, 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 50s, 30s, 40s. But yeah, considering the cost for smuggling and whatnot, like this makes no sense to me. Half those folks look like, like village people to me, and I just don't understand how they're coming here without being funded. But yeah. Oops. Clicked the wrong button. Okay, sorry. So yeah. So if you want to check out more footage from there, that's the last one. And let me get back to our notes. So yeah, so of the folks that are crossing over to San Diego ports of entry or points of entry, it's served 500%, and that's just the percent they can count. So the number is probably a lot worse than that. And then what else? Oh, as Evergrande's liquidation is exploding, their auto manufacturing component or subsidiaries are falling apart, and their books have been finally revealed to be they spent 100% of revenue every single year, and it kept escalating. And basically, every single Evergrande car that was produced was subsidized to the tune of 100 million RMB per car. So $13.8 million per car was the per unit price. $14 million to produce a car. Just it's utterly mind-blowing. So the level of fraud and grifting was just unimaginable. But yes, so that's Evergrande Auto's subsidiary. What else is happening? There's been a lot of unhappiness with the stock market, despite the bailout. And folks are, of all the places that they're complaining online, it's been on the U.S. Embassy Chinese Weibo social media threads, because that's the only one that's censored the least, ironically. So a lot of folks are just complaining about Xi Jinping and the stock market. And in terms of total money printing between 2022 and 2023, it's been 54 trillion RMB that's been printed. So that's like $990 billion. Well, let me think.
No,
Sorry. In US dollars, what is this?
about $9 trillion. That's huge.
Let me
Divide
think.
by 7, and you're underestimating.
Yeah, 54 divided by 7.2. So it's about 7.5 trillion US. So it's like half the economy of the US in theory. That's a lot of money that's printed.
Well, they
And
don't have that much money. I mean, they're-
correct. Yeah, it's a tiny pond, relatively speaking, right? Yeah. And looking at like what's been popular since the end of the Lunar New Year holiday was folks have been flooding into jewelry stores to buy gold and gold jewelry. And the price is pretty good. So global prices per gram at RMB is about 470 to 460. So there's a slight markup, but assuming it's not fake gold, this is a fair price, reasonably speaking. But China is notorious for dirty gold. So like gold that rusts is not gold. But yeah, this has been blowing up. I think there was good footage, or did I not save it? Oh yeah, I saved it here. Yeah. Here's like Chinese markets. There's like lines to just to buy gold. It's crazy. A little late. Not really. I mean, gold is still at $2,000, like 2030 right now per ounce. And jewelry market. Sorry.
it's $65 a gram is today's price.
US dollar. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but yeah, jewelry markups are substantial due to the high input cost of labor. And buying like investment grade gold is the premiums are a lot lower. So yeah. But yeah, this is happening in China. So folks are a little bit late to the party, but you know, the masses are reacting. It's kind of crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're
So-
buying it for investment, something, right?
No, as a hedge, just so that they don't
Oh,
starve to death, and they know like and then don't you have to also remember folks are going into debt because they're getting hosed on their real estate and their auto loans. So if they get blacklisted for non-payment, then they're going to
Right.
convert everything into gold and deal with a black social credit score later.
right. So why don't they just buy like gold coins instead of like gold jewelries?
I think it's lack of education. Like
Hmm.
these folks, you know, were rocking LV bags and Gucci, whatever, you know, for like
Oh.
4 years ago. For them to even know that there's gold available is kind of a surprising turn of events. So of course, you know,
Wow.
they're going to be treated like tourists, you know, on their first major purchase.
I mean, gold is so much a part of the culture in China, the Chinese culture, right?
But
You
not
give-
this generation. This generation
Really?
are idiots. Yeah, they don't understand.
Maybe it is. So they can move jewelry. This is a
Right.
you can move infinite amounts of jewelry and toys to Hong Kong, but you couldn't bring coins.
That's true. They can just wear it like gold necklaces or whatever.
Correct.
Right.
It's a gift for some relative.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. Wow.
Well, all right, guys, we were moving a little bit over time, but hopefully there's pasting the notes back into the chat, and we got earnings today. What fun stuff are we looking at? Soundhound, ZS, Dell, Fisker, Autodesk. Yeah, lots of good stuff. Let's see on Friday. Anything good there? Plug and Fubo. Okay, that's about it. Okay, cool.
Flap said that SoundHound IV is 700%.
That's a lot.
You should take a look.
Yeah.
Crazy.
716. Yeah, it's gone
Yeah.
up. Oh my God.
Yeah.
We are in bubble mania. This
You can
feels so
sell some puts for pretty good premium.
Oh no, it's nickel increments. Oh, damn it. Oh, this is gonna be nuts.
Look at the puts. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I did some already.
Oh my my God. This is crazy. Wow. This is going to be nuts. Yeah, this is gonna be a little bit hard to trade. Wow. It's such a cheap stock and it's all nickel gapped. Oh, okay. What else is decent? I haven't looked yet. That's high volatility. ZS?
Yes, yeah.
This seems like a much saner earnings trade to do. Yeah, SoundHound would scare me a little bit.
What does this company even do?
Oh,
They
SoundHound's like
do
a
voice,
it's like
voice
Shazam.
AI. Yeah.
It's like Shazam. It can listen to like 2 seconds of a song and tell you what it is. They're based in Mountain View, I believe.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, SoundHound.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, NVIDIA has shares on this company, and that's how.
Yes, and it's obscene that it's affecting it so much. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah,
It shouldn't.
yeah,
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
exactly.
But how are they making money? Are they trying to look for copyright violations and doing takedowns or something? Or
They sell their back-end data because it's pretty valuable to like Billboard charting companies and whatnot. But they started with sound and stuff, then they expanded to other solutions. But they're most famous for deciphering songs. Yeah. They've been around for like a decade and a half.
I've never even heard of them.
Mm.
Oh, okay, yeah, I used to use them in Shazam a lot. Like if I go to concerts, I'll run Shazam and SoundHound to figure out like what songs I'm listening to.
Yeah, I know Shazam. Shazam's great.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Or
cool,
Warren,
guys.
if you have a Google Pixel phone, does it all inside the phone, doesn't even need a internet connection. You'll get a whole playlist when you get back home.
Wait, what? You'll get the whole
What's it again?
playlist?
You can have the phone in airplane mode or out in the middle of the desert with no internet, and you get back home and you have a list of all the songs because it's built in. It has Shazam, like a style of Shazam built in.
Oh, I see. Okay, I got
All,
it.
it does it
That's
all
really
inside
cool.
the phone.
Because
That's really cool.
it's
That's amazing.
constant recording then. That's
It's
cool.
not well, it's listening, and it
Yeah, yeah.
has a new downloaded database. It updates constantly to all the songs. I even tried it. My friend didn't believe it. It's like, okay, try this new song, and it was a new song, and it found it in
Mhm.
airplane mode. So
You're talking about SoundHound?
I'm talking about the Google Pixel phone that has it built in.
Oh, Pixel, the Pixel, right?
It's not SoundHound. It's the music. It's called Now Playing.
No.
Okay.
Pixel
Oh,
Now Playing.
oh. But I see a good potential for any AI that has to do with voice AI. Because I think in the future, you can pretty much just talk to your phone and it will do everything for you. You don't even have to search or look up anything.
Yeah, not interested.
I don't want to talk to my phone.
Yeah.
I don't. Phone, stay away from me. Go back inside your Faraday cage.
No, I was thinking like, for example, like if you want to buy concert tickets, right? Instead of you go into the whatever Ticketmaster, whatever website, right? And then look for seats and blah, 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 right? You can just say to your phone and say, okay, I want a ticket to see so-and-so. What are the dates? Tell them the day, the time you want to go, the seats you want to sit, or just pick the seats for you and say, this is what I found. You want to you want to buy those seeds, and they'll just do it for you, pay for you.
And pay the most outrageous price possible.
Yeah.
Probably not. This is what I foresee in the next few years for everything that we do. On your computer, on your phone, you want to book a vacation, everything.
This
Good chance, right?
we'll see.
Seriously, we won't have to type anymore. We won't
Well,
even
no,
have
but
to.
see, the problem is nobody wants to be recorded.
Yeah.
So the constant on is